Oh, evening people, evening. Welcome back to the channel. It's a good start, wasn't it? Cough down the mic. Hope you're all doing all right. We're back with the GTTCC this Friday night. We're back with the Fusion Lobby round 5 tonight. We've got 2 races. First race from Trial Mountain, one of the original Gran Turismo courses. That's a half-an-hour race, and then we jump into a reverse grid race for race 2 at Nürburgring GP circuit. We start with a 15-minute qualifier, which has just got underway. So that's where we're racing tonight, Trial Mountain and Nürburgring GP. I will get into the lobby and I'll start going through points as qualifying kicks off. T-shirts and stickers still available, people. Hit me up if you want any of those. darksmoker@googlemail.com. Not googlemail.com, not there. Don't send your emails there. I won't get them. Right. So, Trial Mountain qualifying just kicked off. Who've we got? Hirakram, Dylan, Dark Clark, Moose Light, Jared, GTP, Toby, LFC Fan, Fat Pickles Bro, P Gib, JRC Racing, P1 Don, P1 Manny. We've got Janio and P1 Mocking Weeks, lobby host tonight. Right, let's get ourselves in. So, it is a one-make race for race 1. Everybody driving the Ferrari. That thing right there. Moose like Jared leading around at the minute. Let's turn some nonsense on so you can see the lap times and things like that. So still on out laps then. Oh, sorry, just started hot laps. Let's turn some sound on so you can hear the damn things. Long straight, a couple of big long straights here at Trial Mountain. We'll do a lap on board with one of these drivers. Get around to the start-finish straight. Get some liveries quickly as we go through. Also start talking about points as well. So where is he? This man here, currently leading the championship. Dark Clark is on 158 points. Whereas the next man 6th, that's Hirakram, so he's sitting in 2nd with 135 points. Quite a big gap. Looks like Jared we've just been looking at, he's got himself 99 points. Let me not flick through because it'll give you a lot of epilepsy. We'll stick with Moose like Jared. In fact, we'll do a lap with him. Lap with Jared, and then we'll continue on with points. So down this start finish straight into this little kink to the left, kink left, kink right. Carry a fair bit of speed through there if you can get it right. Down to this kink left again. The hill almost a hairpin round here. Catch that apex, try not to run it out wide either. Looks like Jared just touching the grass there. Towards this, just over 90 right. Again, tricky one, just wants to push you out to that little curb. Couple of little extra wiggles here. And up and under the bridge, 90-degree left, and then onto the great big long straight. If drivers are close enough, you'll see overtakes happening down here for sure. Nobody wanting to give anybody else a tow down here during qualifying, obviously, to benefit drivers behind. 6th now then as we drop back down the hill. Hairpin coming up. Oh, a little bit deep in there for moves like Jared, but maybe third lap. Oh, he slowed down a little bit. Not happy with that one. So some very similar S's on the way back out of the long straight and that hairpin. Big left-hand elbow coming up now. Very big. Oh, it's into the pits. Okay, that doesn't help us. Let's go back a driver or two. Let's find. Okay, so oh, you're slowing down as well. All right. This is where we saw Jared disappear off into the pits. So we've got a left-hand elbow coming up into a right-hand 90-degree back onto that start-finish straight. A little bit deep there for Manny. Back onto this start-finish straight. Everybody will want to try and cut that little bit of curbing on the inside of that corner. You've got to be careful. It doesn't cost you any time point. You know, don't get a penalty for that one. Right. So, currently leading is Dark Clark, but we were talking about points. We'll stay with Dark Clark. He is leading the championship with 158 points. Hirokram's second with 135. Moves Like Jared is third with 99 points. Fat Pickles in fourth with 82 points. Nipping his heels is Mocking Weeks, though, in fifth with 81 points. Sixth is GTP Toby with 78 points. Seventh is Pete Gibb with 74 points. 8th is LFC Fan. He's got himself 71 points. 9th is Janio. He's got 69 points. P1 Don is 10th. He's got himself 56 points. 11th is P1 Manny, 49 points. 12th is JRC Racing with 47 points. 13th Mental Net with 45 points. James Harben 14th with 43 points. P1 Dylan back of the pack at the minute with 36 points. So that's points coming into this round. Again, we've got two races tonight. This one, the one make with the Ferraris, and then we jump into the second race of the evening where they do have, well, they had to pick a car at the start of the season and they've had to stick with that car for the second race every week, and you're going to see a few Lamborghini Huracans, some McLaren 650Ss, the great big monstrous spaceship that is the GT by Citroën. There's a couple of NSXs and a few 4Cs, so a couple of Hondas and a couple of Alfa Romeos in there. Dark Clark in the pits. So on that pole position, 157.3 at the minute. Dylan has managed to get himself up to 157.3, 61. 5 thousandths behind Dark Clark. Hirokram's just come through to sneak that one off. 157.321. A little bit of time to be found here then. Here comes second. Yeah, we'll be pushing for extra points. You do get a point for pole position and fastest laps as well. Do you in this one? Fastest lap 2 points, and pole position is a single point. There you go. So can anyone knock Hirokram off? It is Dark Clark in second on the grid at the minute. Dylan third. A few penalties on these drivers. Moves Like Jared, we did a lap on board with him. He's sitting in fourth. P1 Don is sitting in fifth. JRC Racing sitting in sixth at the minute. 58.2 is his fastest. Janio in 7th on 58.5. Mocking Weeks in 8th. Manny in 9th. Toby 10th. Pickles in 11th. NFC Fan 12th. P. Gibb at the back of the field at the minute for race 1. 13th. So all drivers have been assigned a team. So you can see Vodafone smashed on the side of Hirokram's car. That actually relates to, because we've connected those to particular charities. Vodafone links with the Scottish Huntingdon Association charity. For instance, let's have a look. Dark Clark, he's got the Texaco livery smashed down the side. That also, you can see on the rear corner of the back of that car, it's got the SADS logo on there as well, so that's another charity being covered. All that means is that at the start of the season, all the teams were assigned a charity, and drivers had the choice of donating money to race. And at the end of the season, whichever charity takes the most championship points, first, second and third in the championship, we send any money donated to those charities. Still on that top spot then. Nobody been able to unseat him yet. Dark Clark out on a hot lap now. Dylan on a hot lap penalty, lost. A little bit of a purple sector there by moves like Jared. Keep them up. He's got a little bit of a benefit from these drivers in front. Will help him out a tiny little bit down this long straight here if he can stick with P. Gibb. Within tow range, might even be able to make an overtake, benefit his lap times. Not able to get the overtake though. It's quite surprising. I thought he was close enough for that on P. Gibb. Lovely scenic circuit though, Trial Mountain. Another penalty on board for P1 Dom. It's that final corner where these drivers are picking up a penalty. It is one of the only places really you can get all four wheels off the circuit. You can see it's maybe there, maybe there. There if you're a donut, you know, that's in shortcuts anyway. Coming up to the penalty loss zone though. It's going to be on the start-finish straight, isn't it? I don't like the way they put it on the fastest part of the track. It does mean you do lose, so he's got 0.5 second penalty there, but he will end up losing about a second and a half, maybe a second in total time by the time he's decelerated and accelerated back into full speed. Not quite the fairest system yet. Gran Turismo. Here in qualifying anyway, let's hope it stays good. Let's just have a look where we are. Trial Mountain, let's have a look. Early morning the races, so we'll have to see what the weather's like. Gibbs got himself a second penalty as well. Interesting to know where they're picking that one up from. So about a minute and 15 seconds left of qualifying. It's still Hirokram on pole. Only by 11 thousandths though. Jared's closed that right up on him. Second, he pushes Dark Clark down to third position at the minute. Clark just starting a fresh lap now though. Let's see how he gets on. Dylan's still out on the circuit, he's on an out lap, he needs to cross the finish line. Fresh tyres on board for Dylan. Let's see what he can do with those. Seconds left of qualifying there. When it hits the 15-minute mark, that's it. When you cross the line, that's your qualifying done. Everybody out on track for this final lap then. It is 15 minutes now. I think it was. Oh, Hirokram happy with this lap at the minute. Who was it? Dark Clark who was out front. He's going to be the next man that crosses the line. We'll see what sort of times he's doing. timing mark coming up any second. He's purple. Oh, he's purple. It's a full 10th up. Near the end of this circuit as well. Can he sneak a little sneaky one at the end? Again, everybody else except Hirakram actually out on a hot lap still. Corners for Dark Clark to go then. Let's see what he can put in. Towards the line then for Dark Clark. Can he take it? Yes he does. Yes he does. Ooh, sneaky. Hirakram then pushed the second at the minute. Right, Jared, next man to watch. Drivers coming up to the line, but they're not in number order. A bit of a wiggle through there for moves like Jared. Oh, I think he's just clipped the wall through there as well. That Dylan right behind him. Moves like Jared then stays third. Dylan. He's already slow. He's going to stay fourth. JRC Racing is going to be fifth. Don is going to be sixth. Janio's 8th, oh, Manny 7th, he's just crossed the line, a little bit quicker. Janio 8th, Mocking Weeks in 9th, P-Gib in 10th, LFC Fan in 11th, GTP Toby in 12th, and Fat Pickles 13th. That is race order for race 1 in the Ferraris. Here we go then, half an hour here at Trial Mountain. The mists started to come down. Hopefully the weather stays good. Can Dark Clark hold that top spot around turn 1? Will Hirakram get a good start? Let's go red then. We'll wait for these to drop and we'll get race 1 underway. They are away. It's a great start by Dylan. Hirakram as he heads up towards turn 1. Clark though is going to hold that pole lead through there. Oof, Jared and Hirakram side by side through there. Hirakram wins out, moves like Jared then slots himself into third position. Why is I thought Dylan was staying out of the way then? He wasn't. He's put himself fourth. Racing fit, Don 6th then, nobody peeling into the pit wall on the start. Janio in 7th, Manny 8th, P-Gib 9th, LFC Fan 10th, Mockin in 11th, GTP Toby in 12th, Fatbull's 13th. The train of Ferraris then heads down towards this first long straight. Look at the gap that Dark Clark's pulled out already, 1.2 seconds. Broken that slipstream from those drivers behind. Hairpin then keeps it nice and tight. Jared gone a little bit wide through there. It has. I think Dylan might be able to make a move on him. Let's just change that camera up. Ooh, JRC Racing having a look here as well. Dylan not able to find that gap. JRC Racing doesn't find a gap through. He goes into third position. Looks like Jared not letting that one go easy though. Dylan's still right behind him. Don's right behind him. Manny's right behind him. Flipping it, they're still neck and neck all the way down here. P-Gib, Janio, Mocking Weeks. Nothing in it at all. Just Dark Clark has managed to pull a little bit of a gap. I say that, he's dropped that gap down to less than a second now. Hirakram actually getting a tow from him. Now a great big gap between second and third. JRC Racing 2.1 seconds back. Looks like Jared right behind him, looking for the move down towards turn 1, side by side as they hit this. JRC Racing lets him go through. Gets a little bit wonky through there. Moves like Jared 2 wheels off the floor as he came through those S's. Gets that third place back though. JRC Racing coming back. still just hanging on in there, just waiting for either of these two to make the tiniest little mistake. All over the back of Dark Clark now for the race lead. This long back straight then, just half a second in it. Starts bringing that time down, but again I don't think it's going to be enough before they hit this hairpin at the end. Loses a bit of time over the brow of the hill actually. Coast into the hairpin, not able to get moved on through there for Hirokram. Might just be saving his tyres, saving his fuel. Pressure Dark Clark into a mistake. Using all of the track here, Hirokram. This is Dark Clark. Little short shifting by Hirokram as well, maybe. Yeah, little short shifting, about 2/3 of the way up, just over halfway. Saving himself a bit of fuel, maybe. Second between the top two then. Looks like Jared back into third position, 1.1 back from that fight up front. Dylan also gets himself through to fourth position. JLC Racing dropped back now into fifth. Puts himself under pressure from P1 Don now. Annie not too far behind him. A bit of a gap now, second back to P Gibb in eighth. Janio around the same. Janio and Mocking Weeks. Close on that corner. 10th for the two teammates. They don't want to be causing a collision. Now hit this long back straight. Toby then in 11th, right behind the two Sparco cars. FC Fan is still tucked on the back of this, and Fat Pickles just a second back himself. Still literally nothing in it. Just the top two have pulled a little bit of a gap. Say that top three now. Jared has absolutely found some pace here. Dragged himself up towards the top two. Now just 3/4 of a second back. Dylan also looking to close that gap up. Dark Clark still leads though. Hirokram not found a way, or not looking for a way past just yet. Second gap back to P1 Don then in fifth, who has now got himself past JRC Racing. Loses a bit of time through there, 1.5 seconds back from that top three fight. Jared going for second. Got himself the inside of Hirokram down that start-finish straight. Again, it was a fair way back from that top two, but he's just managed to find a little bit of pace. Catch them back up. Does he blow his tyres out too early though, is the question. Looking a little bit better on Dark Clark's cars than Jared's. Let's just flip back to Hirokram. We'll have a look at his. His are looking actually better as well. Dylan's looking good too. Forward then, got really good tyres on board. Looks like Jared pressing his a little bit to close this gap back up to the fight up front. Will that cost him later on in the race? 7 minutes into race one then, it is Dark Clark leading. Currently this man with fastest lap though, 1:15.76, looks like Jared. Just 0.3 back from Dark Clark as well as we hit this hairpin. With it. He's just got to be careful of Hirokram behind him. Dylan's still not quite closed up enough to be a threat just yet. Looks like Jared all over the back of Dark Clark, 92 here. Again, just keeping his eye on Hirokram behind. Doesn't want to leave the door wide open for him to have that second position back. Have a little think about the inside. He does. Slings one up the inside into the second to last corner. Takes the lead then, Jared. Now, can he break the toe of these drivers behind? Dark Clark, obviously no slouch behind the wheel. Current championship leader. Still just 0.3 back as we head down towards turn 1. Again, looks like Jared's tyres looking a little bit more worn than the drivers behind. So he may be able to push now. That might cost him towards the end of the race. Stretches that gap open a little bit, 0.3 to 0.4, 0.5. Enough to break the toe. Dark Clark, Hirokram still right there with him. Dylan still desperately trying to close this gap up, 1.1 back. Just needs a couple of tenths more to get the toe off these drivers in front. Bring it down slowly. Racing slotted himself back into 5th, got himself past Don. Manny's made a mistake. P Gibbs managed to get past him, but Manny's coming back for that 7th, right behind P Gibbs as we head over the hill down towards this hairpin. Locking Weeks back in this fight as well. He's up into 9th position. Past teammate Janio. Going for an overtake down there. Then GTP Toby has also moved up. Janio, what's happened to you, Janio? Way down at the back of the pack now behind Fat Pickles Bro. Had a bit of a mare somewhere then, Janio. Piling the pressure on Fat Pickles Bro right here though. Nowhere to go through these S's unless somebody's courteous enough to leave the door wide open for you. So continues to lead up front then. Jared pulls another couple of tenths from Dark Clark and Hirokram behind. Still not dropped that toe just yet. Again, Dylan just outside of that slipstream range. JRC Racing has broken away in 5th then. Don is 1.2 seconds behind him. Big old gap to catch up to Dylan though, 2.7 seconds. 1.4 behind him. P Gibb another 2.3 seconds back. He's got a mirror full of Locking Weeks, who's moved up to 8th position. Manny, who's dropped behind, down to 9th then for Manny. Toby and LFC fan not too far off that fight either, just a second back from the 3 in front. Fat Pickles has managed to hold on to 12th position. Ahead of Janio for the minute. Why have we got yellow flags? Someone's put it in the wall. Hirokram, what have you done? From 2nd to 10th for Hirokram. There's no damage on his car, so I assume he's had a little bit of a spin around somewhere. Is there damage on the other side of that car? No. Been ploughed into by the looks of it. So let's just go back up front then. So looks like Jared still leads by 0.8 of a second. Dark Clark in 2nd. Dylan now 1.4 seconds to catch up with a missing Hirokram. That does put him in a 3rd position in this race for the time being. JLC Racing losing a bit of time to these guys, 3.1 seconds back. Possibly having to avoid a spinning round Hirokram. Into 5th then, P Gibbs 6th, Mocking 7th, Manny 8th, Toby in 9th, LFC Fan 10th, Hirokram 11th. A lot of work to do then. Mocking Weeks has dropped back a couple of positions as well, he's in 10th. What's going on with Mocking Weeks as well, maybe? Tyre way of catching these two out, I don't know. Fat Pickles then still managed to fend off Janio. S's again, nowhere for anybody to go through there. Back into the top three then. Moose Like Jared still leads. Still just got Dark Clark in that toe range behind him. Almost drops him. Almost drops him. Finding some time on those last couple of corners. Starts bringing that time down between himself and Dark Clark. Still got the tiniest bit of toe off of Moose Like Jared in front. JRC racing 3.6 seconds back. He's got Don not too far behind him, just 1.2 seconds. I say that's dropped to a second. So Don's found about half a second here as well. So JRC racing slamming the brakes on. Tyre squeal. P-Gib then still holding 6th position. Got a little bit of breathing room between himself and Manny now. And he's got himself half a second penalty. It's coming up to be lost any second. That's going to allow Toby and probably LFC fan past. Let's see. He then peels over to the right hand side of the circuit, loses that penalty, drops himself off the racing line. So Toby does go through, LFC fan does go through. And he drops down to 9th now then. Hurricane makes up a position, he's into 10th, got himself past Mocking Weeks. Again, not sure what happened to either of these two, whether those are coming together between them, I don't know. Both drivers seem to be running slow on different parts of the circuit. Obviously Hurricane we watched go from 3rd to 10th, 11th even. Pickles still fending off Janio. Both drivers' tyres looking pretty beaten up. Halfway through race 1 then, Moose Like Jared still leads. Dark Clark brought that gap down though, just half a second between them. Dylan falls a little bit further back, 2.1 seconds down now in 3rd. Still plenty of space between him and 4th. JRC Racing 3.4 seconds behind him. So let's just have a look at tyres. Moose Like Jared's front right absolutely screaming out. Dark Clark's look pretty much half worn on that front right. It's going to cost Moose Like Jared. He comes in the pits this lap, halfway into this race. We'll see when everybody else comes in. Dark Clark still got plenty of fuel on as well. Got about a 1/3 of a tank. Moose Like Jared had dropped himself to 1/4 of a tank. So only Moose Like Jared who's stopped so far. Got that same pace in the second half of the race. He might just be able to take the lead depending on when these guys come in. Dylan stays out as well, 1.7 seconds behind Dark Clark though. JRC Racing 3rd now, Don in 4th, P-Gib 5th, Toby in 6th, Manny 7th. Hurricane in 8th, or is he? Yes, he just gets himself past the LFC fan. Weeks looking for way past as well. LFC fan in 9th, Mocking Weeks in 10th, Fan Pickles in 11th, Janio still behind him in 12th. Moose Like Jared out the pits now, fresh set of racing softs on. Fuel to run to the end of the race, 17 seconds back from Janio, 33.7 seconds back from Dark Clark leading the race. So about a 20-second pit stop as well, so you may well lose out on that one. Finds a couple of tenths on Dark Clark. The time was 1.6, it's now 1.3. Very similar on tyre wear, these two. Neither coming in the pits just yet though. Plenty of life in those tyres, plenty of fuel left on board as well for both drivers. Into lap 10 we go then. 18 minutes gone. Can anybody run to the end on the fuel and tyres they've got? What have we got? 11 and a half minutes. Interesting. Staying the same between Clark and Dylan, 1.3, 1.4 seconds. Again, just over a quarter of a tank for both drivers. Tyre wear looking very similar. Are they looking to run to the end? Maybe a splash and dash for fuel. GLC Racing keeping the pace of Clark and Dylan. He's falling a little further back, 4.3 seconds. Got Dom in his rearview mirror, just a second and a half behind him. Gibb another 3.4 back. Toby 2.7 seconds back. But Hirakram coming back up the inside down towards the hairpin. Ooh, not sure who's got that one. A bit pushy through there, but it does look like Hirakram's got himself through up the inside, then into 6th. Toby 7th. Back in Weeks 8th. Pickles 10th. Janio in 11th. LFC fan has made a mistake. He's now down in 12th position. Tyres looking a little bit beaten up. He's got half a second penalty to lose as well. And looks like Jarrett still pressing after coming in. Fresh set of tyres on board. A lot of work to do to get himself back up the front of this race. Still 31, nearly 32 seconds behind Dark Clark. They are stopping out again. 20 minutes gone, 10 minutes remaining. Dylan within that tow range now. Just 0.8 between these two, so he is in the slipstream range of Dark Clark now. Will be benefiting from that down these longer straights. Go for the overtake, really just try and run down the clock. Just 0.8 behind him in a minute, that time falling, 7. Again, not going to be enough before this hairpin at the bottom of the hill. We'll bring him closer. 6 as they hit the hairpin. Closing that gap up then, Dylan. Dark Clark must be feeling the pressure a little bit. Really see these drivers pit at all. There's a tight line there for Dylan. Closes that gap up a little bit more on Dark Clark. Nobody's stopping this lap. Corners before the start-finish straight. Tighter line again through there for Dylan. Just 0.3 between them. Now coming down rapidly. Are we going to see Dylan make a move into turn 1? Come on, camera. There we go. No, allows Dark Clark to hold on to that one. Possibly could have gone for it, maybe just felt he didn't need to. Right behind the first place man though, Dylan, pressing him around this circuit. This is the quality of driving we've got, absolutely bumper to bumper between these two, around some of these tricky corners. smashing into each other either. Now then, we're going to see Dylan go for the move this time. A lot closer, obviously, as we hit this long back straight. .3. Still might not be enough. Down the hill, but still not enough to make the move into the hairpin for Dylan. Clark still leads, then 7 minutes remaining in this first race this evening. We'll just see them go past this pit entrance again. If they don't stop, we'll flick through. See where everybody else is. Right, they've got past, so Dark Clark still leads, then Dylan at second, JRC Racing currently third, Don fourth, P-Gib fifth, Hirocram sixth, stretching those track limits. Week seventh under pressure from Toby in eighth, Manny in ninth position. He's got Fat Pickles and Janio behind him. LFC Fan about 2.3 seconds back. He's had a mare somewhere on the circuit. Loose like Jared on his fresher tyres, 5.3 seconds back. Still up front, Dark Clark still leads again, just a quarter of a second in it. Bumper cam from Dylan then. S's, I'm going to see him make a move this lap. So I'm going to wait till the very last lap, Dylan. Not quite as quick as Dark Clark through there. The gap stretches up to half a second as they exit and come onto this long back straight. Stretches a little bit more, losing time then Dylan. 5 minutes to go. Dylan a little bit of time through there, I think. Dark Clark's tyres in no better condition really. We just seem to find a little bit more grip through that corner. That time stretching up to about a second again between Dark Clark and Dylan. Where else is it kicking off? GRC's having a little bit of a lonely race at the minute. Dom's still behind him, but not too close. Here it comes up into fifth. Past P-Gib in sixth. Toby's past Mocking Weeks into seventh. Mocking Weeks eighth now then. Hazards on for Toby. Manny in ninth. Fat Pickles right behind him in 10th. Janio right behind him in 11th. LFC Fan another 3.6 seconds down in 12th. Loose like Jared right behind him now in 13th. 1.6 seconds back on that fresh set of tyres. Has got a big line of drivers to catch up and overtake, but about 3.5 minutes left to do it. Not looking good for Moose like Jared. Leading the first stint until his tyres blew out. Looks like everybody else is going for the one stop here, the no stop even, sorry. Dylan falls even further back from race leader Dark Clark, then that gap stretches to 1.5 seconds. Fuel started to flash, he might be in trouble here. Possibly a little bit of short shifting for Dylan. Didn't even get up to half revs. Dropped it into 7th. His fuel gauge already flashing. Dark Clark's not flashing red yet. So still got fuel in the tank for another lap at least. Yeah, Dylan falling away from Dark Clark, that fuel situation just on the back of his mind. Both drivers again avoid the pits. 2.5 minutes remaining then in this first race of the evening. And it is Dark Clark currently leading 2.4 seconds. Dylan is having to conserve a little bit of fuel here. Falls away from Dark Clark. JRC Racing's too far back to put any pressure on him. He's got his own issues with fuel as well, so he's probably short shifting. That's going to allow Don, who's also got his own fuel issues, close up on him. Everybody's tanks flashing red now then. Are they going to make it? He gets himself back past Toby. Oh, Janio managed to get himself past Fat Pickles. Up to 9th then, Fat Pickles 10th. Plenty of fuel on for Fat Pickles as well though. And he's almost out of fuel. Jared's got plenty on. LFC fan as well there. Everybody got the old flashing red going on in a minute. Dark Clark then stretching away. 2.7 seconds over Dylan. A minute left on the race clock. Everybody should make it looking at the fuel. Might come down to an absolute wire though for some drivers. These two have got to be careful. Hirokram closing up again. He's got a tiny bit more fuel on board than these two. Might not have to short shift quite so much. Toby back past Mocky Weeks. Pete Gibb as well. The position, Toby through to 6th, P. Gibbs 7th, Mockin in 8th. Pickles back past Janio into 9th. Janio 10th. Manny in 11th. Moose like Jared on those fresh tyres right behind him, so he's made a position past LFC fan. He's now got his way past Moose like Jared. A couple of drivers in front to chase down, but running out of corners. Let's just get ourselves back up front. Oof. Clark gets another lap. Dylan gets another lap. They're not going to have the fuel. JRC Racing is the first man to cross the line once the timer ticks over, so he takes 3rd. Dom takes 4th. Hirokram takes 5th. Toby, wherever he's gone, takes 6th. P. Gibbs 7th. Rocky Weeks in 8th. Fat Pickles 9th. Janio 10th. Moves like Jared in 11th. Manny in 12th. And LFC Fan 13th. For these two to probably coast round with no fuel by the end of this lap. Way out front now though, Dark Clark. Loads more fuel on than Dylan, so it doesn't matter now. He'll run out of fuel after Dylan. It doesn't matter, they'll both creep round to the start-finish line. All you've got to do. It's cost him the win, I think, Dylan, unfortunately. Good race by Dark Clark though. Led for the most of the first stint. Moose like Jared came through and had a little bit of a smash of it. Blew his tyres out a little bit too quick though, and he was the only driver to stop. So it is Dark Clark then that takes the win, stretches out his championship lead up front as well. First place for Dark Clark then. Dylan does run out of fuel. No, he doesn't. No, he just had a blim left. Right, Dylan takes 2nd then. Race 1 done and dusted. There it is, Dark Clark taking the win in race 1 tonight then. Official results, Dark Clark taking that win. Dylan 2nd, JRC Racing 3rd, P1 Dom 4th, Hirokram in 5th, GTP Toby in 6th, P1 Gibb in 7th, Mocking Weeks, P Gibb in 7th, P1 Mocking Weeks in 8th. Fat Pickles in 9th. Janio in 10th. Moose Like Jared in 11th. P1 Manny in 12th. And LFC Fan in 13th. So that was race 1, where you saw everybody was racing the Ferrari, but now they get to disappear off, go pick the car of their choice, which they chose at the start of the season. They now get to race in that. So you're going to see some Lamborghinis, you're going to see some Alfa Romeo 4Cs, you're going to see some Citroens, a couple of NSXs, a fair few McLarens. That's what you're going to see in race 2. Reverse grid as well, another half an hour, but it is now not at the right circuit yet. We are at Nürburgring GP circuit. Is that the one? That's the 24-hour. I thought we were doing the short course. But if it's full on Nordschleife, whoa, let's have it. It's a love or hate circuit. The GP circuit, the small, short circuit. Standard, normal, you know, everyone can cope with that. Nordschleife, on the other hand, well, that's a whole different kettle of fish. So LFC Fan out in one of the McLaren 650S's. There's a spaceship, Moose Like Jared out in the Citroen GT. Warp Speed Captain. Look at it. Ridiculous looking car. So let's have a look then. So this is the GP part of the circuit. Let's out to chase cam. We're almost at the back end of it. So this is the back half of the short course. Up the hill into the chicane. And then instead of turning right onto the start-finish straight again, we turn left onto the Nords. The green hell, as it's commonly known. There's no room for errors around here. It's a very, very fast part circuit. You have to carry the speed. You have to know the corners if you want some good results here. Looks like Jared almost kind of knows it. LFC Fan just in front, almost getting the same corner wrong. Interesting to see what sort of pit stops people do. I don't know whether they'll be able to do full half an hour tyres and fuel here. We're talking what with the short course on there as well. Oh, there we go, little mistake from Moose Like Jared, simple as that. Talking 7.5, 8 minute laps, I think. Again, you don't want to be missing your pit stop. Obviously it's a long way back to the pits here. It's a 13-mile circuit. It's actually longer than that. GP part on it, it's massive. The short course as well as the Nordschleife. Tricky section coming up then. LFC Fan taking a dodgy line into that. Jared right behind him. Looks like both drivers seem to know the circuit reasonably well. About a third of the way round at the minute. Jared looking for a way past LFC Fan. Again, no qualifying for this one, obviously. Reverse grid from race 1. Again, this Nordschleife circuit, you've got to absolutely know your corners and know how fast and what gear to take them in and that sort of thing if you want any kind of good result here at Nordschleife. Again, the short course is pretty easy to pick up, but this one, many corners for you to remember, and a lot of them look very similar if you're not used to them. Can catch you out if you think you're coming into a particular corner and you're coming up to a different one. Maybe hit it at the wrong speed, wrong gear, take the wrong apex. Not very forgiving if you get it off circuit, as you've seen. You've just seen Moose like Jared get a little bit of a wobble on after hitting the grass. Ended up picking a bit of rear end damage up. This is only a little practice session in between the race actually kicking off. A couple of minutes before that happens. Citroen right behind the McLaren then. It's one of the fastest sections of the circuit. Citroen closing up on the McLaren. Difficult to overtake again through here. Just backing off the throttle then Moose like Jared. There you go, Moose like Jared knows his corners. FC Fan, not so much. Hander up towards the carousel. So you can see it's a pretty tight circuit. You've got to be absolutely on point if you're looking for those overtakes here. Very different to a normal race circuit. Not really spun it backwards yet either. Trickier sections with all the different left right combinations coming up. You can see LFC Fan just getting that one wrong, pushing himself out wide on that next corner because of it. Nice bit of driving there by Moose like Jared to drive around the outside of him there, tucks himself back on the inside, gets his way through. Again, looks like Jared knows this circuit. LFC Fan seems to know it, maybe quite fully refreshed in his memory yet. Both drivers off circuit a little bit there. We've seen these corners on the videos where all sorts of cars will be going sideways and backwards. Again, a tricky circuit to overtake. It is possible, but you've got to absolutely trust the drivers on circuit next to you. It's a race, they're not going to make it easy, they're not going to leave the doors wide open for you. So we're already on 7 minutes 28 on an outlap. Okay, we've not taken into account the pit exit times and stuff like that, but still, mini carousel. Wobble on through there for Moose like Jared. Again, tricky last couple of corners. Great big long straight now. Again, overtakes possible up here if you can get it right. Penalty section. Oh, disgusting place to have it, look. Just as you're reaching full tilt, yeah, let's slow him down. What can you get up to then, Jared? Not full speed if you're hitting the grass, that's for sure. It looks like we're starting race 2 though. Half an hour here then at Nordschleife GP. The full Nürburgring experience going on. It is going to be LFC Fan on pole, Manny in second. False starts are on. We wait for the red lights to go on and then drop. Get race 2 underway. Good start by everybody. LFC fan peels him over. Moose like Jared gets a great start in that monstrous thing. Gets himself up into second, looking to run around the outside of LFC fan into turn one, but LFC fan shuts the door on him. Tricky, tricky. Missing out the Mercedes arena. It is Moose like Jared in that monster spaceship that's managed to get his way through into first position. Now he needs to use the power of that thing to get away. Getting fast in race one. Got himself a good position here in race two. Just doesn't want to blow his tyres out too quickly. Again, the only driver to take a pit stop in race one. That cost him. LFC fan second, then Manny in third, Janio in fourth, GTP Toby fifth, Hirokram sixth, Fat Pickles in seventh, Mockin in eighth. Half a second penalty already for Mockin Weeks in the NSX. Dark Clark in ninth, Dylan in 10th, P Gibb in 11th, Don in 12th, JRC Racing in 13th. So top two from race one, already up a few positions, 9th and 10th respectively. Is Moose like Jared starting to pull away in that spaceship. 0.9 of a second as we run down and back up the hill towards the chicane. LFC fan still second. Manny looking for a way past him though. He wants that second off him. Right behind him as we hit the Nords. Sideways for LFC fan. Hirokram up to fourth as well. He'll want a good result from this one. Not having a great race one. Wasn't a bad result in the end, but put himself under some pressure by some sort of incident. Oh! Janio coming in there a bit hot. Taking out Hirokram. I think that's allowed GTP Toby to come through in the other Citroen. Janio just came into that corner a little bit hot, clipped Hirokram into the wall. He's managed to recover. He's got some front end damage to deal with though. Fat Pickles in 6th, right behind him. Dark Clark right behind him in 7th. Dylan right behind him in 8th. Both in the McLarens as well. Janio in 9th. Can we for that penalty in 10th. P Gibb in 11th. You can see battling for position but nowhere to go here. In 11th for that penalty then. He allows Don and JRC Racing to go through. Not too sure what that's all about. Puts himself at the back of the pack now. Oh, P Gibb takes a bit of a shortcut. That's going to cost him a few positions for sure. The Citroen of Toby forces his way into third position. Difficult to argue with that thing. Once it's past you, it's difficult to get past. It's so flipping wide. Moose like Jared though, obviously enjoying this circuit in the Citroen. 4 seconds out front from LFC fan at the minute. LFC fan's got his own bit of breathing room. He's got 2 seconds back. Oh no, what's happened to the Citroen? Hirokram into third, then Fat Pickles 4th in the Alfa Romeo 4C. Dylan in 5th. Managed to get himself past Dark Clark. Dark Clark in 6th. Janio 7th. P1 Don in 8th. JRC Racing in 9th. Mockin Weeks 10th. Manny in 11th. And Toby. What happened to Toby? All the way down to 12th. Oh, we've got someone backwards. P Gibb. P Gibb. I don't think P Gibb likes this circuit. Could be wrong. But I think I'm right. Fat Pickles has made a mistake as well. He puts himself to 12th position. Again, difficult circuit to race on. Easy to do time trials here, but to race, it's very, very difficult, especially if you're looking for overtakes. Oof. Jared just picking up that thing, putting it back down again, making sure it's straight. He's got a second over LFC fan, so he's lost 2 seconds gap he had. Hirokram closing up on him in the McLaren. Dylan only 1.9 behind him in another McLaren. Dark Clark another 1.1 back in a third McLaren. Was LFC fan in a McLaren? Oh yeah, so 4 McLarens in the top 5 then, just the Citroen to get past. McLarens. Genio in 6th position in the Lamborghini. JRC in a McLaren in 7th. Mocking Weeks right behind him. Still got half a second penalty in 8th. Honda NSX for Mocking Weeks. Somebody else was in an NSX, but maybe I was wrong. Maybe they're not racing this week. Don then in 9th, under pressure with Toby for that position in the spaceship. Fat Pickles in 11th. Manny in 12th now. P. Gibb trying to find that time back in 13th. Looks like Jared's made a mistake. He's made another one. So LFC fan goes through to take race lead. Hirokram takes 2nd. Wobbly Citron, not as quick as Jared would like then. Just seems to be a little bit tail happy maybe. Applying the pressure back on the 2nd place driver though. Let's get ourselves on board with Hirokram and see what it looks like with that thing in your rearview mirror. See, it just slides about a little bit on the exit of some of these corners. Dylan's lost that position to Dark Clark. I hadn't noticed either. Jared closes back up on Hirokram. Looks to run around the outside. Nowhere to go through there. Again, difficult circuit to overtake on, just with the nature of the left-right circuit. Oh, it's all coming together. LFC fan a little bit slow through there, catching out Hirokram. Looks like Jared gets through. Dark Clark almost gets through. Brings Dylan back into the fight though. LFC fan drops himself out of this battle. He now falls to 5th. So it's Citron, McLaren, Lamborghini. Jared sideways in that Citron again. You can just see how quick Hirokram's able to catch up with that little mistake from the Citron in front. Nowhere to go. Look how wide that thing is. Look. So these drivers need to keep themselves right in touch with Jared. Chase him and get that toe down this start-finish, not the start-finish, straight down the back straight. Fan trying to hang on to these 4, but difficult task. They are really good drivers. Jared then half a second lead onto this long back straight. Dark Clark and Dylan both getting the advantage of the toe off of Hirokram. Hirokram gaining a tiny little bit off of Moose like Jared, benefiting these 2 more. Dark Clark then closes the gap, dragging Dylan with him. Goes for a little bit of a move. Hirokram tries to close the door on him, but it's not going to be enough. They're both trying to close up on Moose like Jared. Dark Clark fires his way through. Where's Dylan? He's looking for a way past the Citron now as well. Side by side almost as they run up the hill. No, Citron's just got it on Dylan. Coming to these tricky last few corners. It is Dark Clark that's managed to get himself up front then. 1 lap done. There's the Citron. Oi, maniac. McLaren coming back though. Dylan looking for a way through. I have to change this camera angle up because I can't see where everybody is. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Almost 3 wide on the exit there. They are 3 wide. Ooh. Looks like Jared just gets himself in front. Dylan's going to have the inside line now into this next corner. Oh, but Hirokram finding a way through. What a battle for the second at the minute. All helping out Dark Clark in front. The 2 McLarens battling side by side, then down towards the hairpin. Still being blocked off by this great big Citron in front. Get past him before they hit the Nordschleife again, because this is all helping out Dark Clark. He's now got 1.7 second lead over Jared. Dylan and Hirokram looking to swap positions. Hirokram now with half a second penalty to lose. LFC fan is actually closing back up on this fight. Tyre wear looking brutal though on his McLaren. He's on the racing softs, but already big chunks of wear on those. JRC Racing. Oh no, sorry, I thought you were in a Lamborghini. You're not, you're on another McLaren. 6th position, tyre wear looking good. Lucky Week 7th in the NSX. Toby in the Spaceship in 8th. Janio in the Lamborghini in 9th. Don McLaren 10th. Van Pickles in an Alpha in 11th. With a Lamborghini in 12th for Manny and a Lamborghini for P. Gibb. Dark Clark then 1.9, nearly 2 seconds lead over Jared. Jared still managed to fend off these two drivers. Oh, LFC fan in the background's got it wrong. He's managed to get himself back on circuit, but fallen off that top 4 battle. Fair amount of time behind him, 4.4 seconds, sorry, 4 seconds now to JRC Racing. That gap will come down, a little bit of a penalty to lose as well for him. Dylan flashing the lines, wants a way through. There's the gap up front. Dark Clark leads from Moose Like Jared, from Hirokram, from Dylan. In it between 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Just first place who's managed to stretch out a little bit of a gap, 2.1 seconds then for Dark Clark. Very evenly matched then, the Citroens and the McLarens. Good acceleration for Moose Like Jared, but just seeing the McLarens might have a mile an hour too faster top end. Perfect lines through there for top 4. Again, just absolutely nowhere to overtake on this circuit. On board with 4th place man Dylan then, looking ahead at Hirokram, Moose Like Jared and Dark Clark. Dylan goes for a little look here then. And gets that position. Again, there are opportunities to overtake here, but you've got to be absolutely on point. Now Dylan chasing Moose Like Jared, 0.7 of a second behind him. Jared goes a little bit wayward through there. Dylan catches him right up as we head down towards this little hairpin. Pressure in the Citroen then. Hirokram almost pushing Dylan down the street. Looking for that move on Moose Like Jared. Wants to get past the great big Citroen. He's got to be careful he doesn't allow Hirokram back through. Again, Hirokram's got that half a second penalty to lose. So he'll fall off the back of this fight when they hit that penalty zone. Circuit to overtake on, you've got to be absolutely on point. Trust all these drivers around you. Again, with this great big Citroen in front, difficult to overtake anyway because of how wide it is. Hirokram looking around the outside. Dylan just gets that toe, switches up the inside. He's got a run on Moose Like Jared now. Hirokram's followed him through, used the slipstream and the bump drafting on this straight. Both drivers getting through Moose Like Jared then. There we go, but Hirokram still piling the pressure on Dylan. Wants to hang with him or get in front of him to help him benefit when he drops that penalty. Now Dylan with a big job on his hand, 4.2 seconds ahead to Dark Clark. Still got a mirror full of Hirokram and Moose Like Jared as well. Again, Hirokram will fall off the back of this fight a little bit when he drops that penalty. Locking Weeks into 5th though. He's enjoying it here in the NSX. Found himself past JRC Racing, a long way down from the top 4, but still 15 minutes left to race. JRC Racing in 6th then. GP's Toby in 7th, Don right behind him in 8th, Pete Gibb right behind him in 9th, LFC Fan right behind him in 10th with a penalty, Fat Pickles in 11th, Money in 12th, Janio 13th. Oh, back of the field still pretty tightly packed. Anything could happen there. This man, 4.2 seconds over Hirakram, who has got himself past. What's happened to Dylan? If there's a little bit of contact between those two. Dylan off track, maybe. He's got front end damage. Who's like Jared's got past. Hirakram's got past. Again, not sure if there was contact. They were very, very close together. Dylan just getting nudged wide into one of these corners. A lot of work to do now. 7.5 behind race leader Dark Clark, 2.5 behind Jared. Jared's still a second behind Hirakram. See what Mocking Weeks can do with this. His tyres still looking really good actually in the NSX. 11.8 seconds behind Dylan. 19.3 behind race leader. See if he can bring that time down. I'll come back and have a look. JRC Racing then another 5 seconds down in 6th. Toby 7th. Don not managed to get past him yet. P. Gibb from having an awful start of the race. Sitting at the back of the pack is currently in 9th. LFC Fan 10th with half a second penalty to lose. Under pressure from Fat Pickles sitting in 11th. Mini carousel then. So let's have a look. When they hit this straight, there's half a second gap between LFC Fan and Fat Pickles. Just so we'll see what the gap's like. 0.3, still 0.3, quarter of a second. Okay. So there you go, Fat Pickles gets himself past LFC Fan. He's gained about a second on him. He was about a quarter of a second back, and he's over a second in front of him now. So yeah, the penalty system not quite working out. Pit stops happening now though, people. Top four in, Dark Clark, Hirakram, Moose Like Jared and Dylan. All opting to come in this lap. Won't have enough fuel to do another lap. Mocking Weeks in now. JRC Racing comes in also. We expect every driver to come in. Gibb, plenty of fuel on. He's stopping out. Screw you guys. Toby comes in. Don comes in. Fat Pickles in. LFC Fan in. Janio in. I expect to see Manny as well. Looks like he's had a mare somewhere. Dark Clark back out. Fresh set of tyres. Half a tank of fuel just over. P. Gibb catches him just on the exit. His tyres semi-worn. Quarter of a tank of fuel on. Hirakram back out, fresh set of tyres as well, only 4.2 behind Dark Clark. Dylan also coming out, getting a great pit stop into 4th, gets ahead of Moose Like Jared. Jared, I think, taking on a little bit too much fuel. Dylan then up into 4th. Now it's a case of, will we see P. Gibb stop? He's got 11 minutes left to race. Probably plenty of fuel on in that Lamborghini. I think the other Lamborghini of Don also had plenty of fuel on as well. Let's go and find, was it Don in the Lamborghini? Here it is. Yeah, still a big chunk of fuel on for Don as well. Sorry, Manny. There's Don. He's been in the pits, so yeah, he's got plenty of fuel on. Half a tank, fresh set of tyres. So everybody been in then except JRC Racing. Talking out my bum. P. Gibb. Why did I see JRC? P. Gibb is still out. 2.2 behind Dark Clark. Hirakram another 1.8 behind him. Dylan 4 seconds back from Hirakram. Still got Moose Like Jared for company, just half a second behind him. Mocking Weeks back out. 12.1 back in 6th position. 7th for Manny, 8th for JRC Racing, 9th for Don, 10th for Toby, 11th for Janio, 12th for LFC Fan, and there's now Fat Pickles at the back of the field. Oh, Fat Pickles taking on fuel for next week's race as well, I think. 3/4 of a tank. That puts Fat Pickles to the back of the field, unfortunately. Ooh, things like that won't help either. There's a great big kick off the backside of the chicane, pushes him wide. Dark Clark then 3.7 second lead from P. Gibb. P. Gibb being closed up by Hirakram. Still looking good for Dark Clark at the minute. 9 minutes remaining. Great big gap between himself and second position. Now P. Gibb in a good place. Okay, stays out of the way. Hirakram able to get through easily there then on the fresher tyre. I think Hirakram knew, I think P. Gibb knew it was going to happen, just allowed Hirakram to come through. I think we're going to see the same as well when Dylan catches him up. 3 seconds down from P. Gibb at the minute. Looks like Jared, he's fallen back a little bit. He's picked up a little bit of a penalty as well. He won't be happy about that. So it is now Dylan chasing down P. Gibb for that third. Fresh tyres on board for Dylan. Warm tyres on for P. Gibb. Oh, I think he's just made a little mistake as well. He must have, because Dylan is catching him rapidly now. Jared falls even further back. Dylan now just 1.7 seconds behind third place P. Gibb. Oh, P. Gibb off track again through there. It's just little mistakes catching out P. Gibb. Possibly knows this circuit, just not well enough. Dylan then just 0.8 behind him. 7.2 back from Dark Clark. A bit sideways there for P. Gibb as well. Brings Dylan even closer to this tricky hairpin. Dylan slings one up the inside. P. Gibb gives him plenty of space. Dylan through then into third position, 4 seconds down from Hirakram. 8.6 away from race leader Dark Clark. Work to do then for Dylan. P. Gibb into fourth, Jared fifth. Got to lose that penalty and get past P. Gibb. 7 minutes remaining. Mocking in sixth position. JLC Racing in seventh, another 6.2 seconds behind him. Manny in eighth, 7 seconds back. Dom not too far off the back of him though, just a second behind. Toby another half a second back as well in the Citroen. 3.2 back to LFC Fan in 11th. Janio another 4 seconds back in 12th. Fat Pickles right on his tail, 0.7 of a second. Again, just taking on far too much fuel right at the end of pits there for Fat Pickles. But this man had a stomp in race 1 and a stomp in race 2 at the minute. 4.3 second lead from race 1 as well. Seconds behind him. Dylan another 4.3 seconds back. Going to find it difficult to close that gap down on Hirakram, I think. 6 minutes remaining. Looks like Jared has got himself past P. Gibb now as well. And he's 2.7 seconds back. And he's got that half a second penalty to lose. P. Gibb can hang on to him. He might get this position back before the end of the race. Tyres starting to cost P. Gibb a little bit, I think, now. He's still got to lose that penalty, though. Dylan not closing the gap up. Falls a little bit further back from Hirakram, actually, 4.9 seconds. Oh, Hirakram gets it wrong through there, though. Far too hot into that corner. That gives Dylan Over a second there. That little mistake from Hirakram has cost him a second in the hunt for that second position. Dylan closing him down a little bit then. Again, it's not enough though. Still 4.3 seconds between them. 4.5 minutes remaining. Oof. Jump in the McLaren then. Dylan. See another lap of Nordschleife. Clark then 4.7 seconds lead as we come onto this long back straight. 4 minutes remaining. Here it goes, a great big gap between himself and Hirakram. Clark in front. You see the same gap between Dylan and Hirakram as well. A little bit bigger, in fact, I think. Dylan struggling to find the pace of Hirakram in front. Just losing a tenth here or there. Looks like Jared loses that penalty though. 4 seconds back from Dylan. Gibb not able to take advantage of that. His tyres just cost him a little bit too much. No stop yet for P. Gibb. He's looking to run the whole race like this. Has he got enough fuel on for another lap? Oof. It's not flashing red yet, and we're coming to the last couple of corners. And that tells me he's got enough. He's not risking it though. He's coming in the pits. He's going to change tyres and probably... Oh, Rocky Weeks, that's not the line. Gets away without a penalty for that one. Must have backed off the throttle. Rocky into 5th then. P. Gibb taking that pit stop, dropping himself out of that top 5 fight. This will become last lap then, 2.5 minutes remaining. These laps being 9 minutes. This will be it. Hirakram 4.8 seconds behind in 2nd then. Dylan another 5 seconds down in 3rd. Looks like Jared 4th, 4.7 seconds behind Dylan. Rocky Weeks 18.9 seconds back in 5th. Looks like he's just run himself off circuit, giving his car a wiggle to clean the tyres off down there. JLC Racing in 6th. Big gaps opening up now on this circuit. I say that as Don and P. Gibb neck and neck. P. Gibb on brand new fresh soft tyres. Don on reasonably fresh tyres. Not quite as fresh as P. Gibb, so we might see an overtake yet on these between these two. Toby a little bit of wear on his 2nd set of tyres. LFC fan behind him in 10th. Pickles a long way back now, 4.9. Janio in 12th position, another 3.5 seconds back. And Manny been in the pits, fresh set of tyres on for him as well. Lamborghini stopping very late then. Clark still 5.6 second lead. Dylan, nothing he can do to catch that 2nd place Hirakram. 5.3 between those two as well. All spreading out up front then as the first of the races here really. Don and P. Gibb. Toby's not too far off the back of this fight. He's got problems of his own though. He's got LFC fan for company. Pushing for 9th then, LFC fan. Again, difficult to get past that great big wide Citroen of Toby's. Switch to one side of the circuit, looking for the door, but the opposite way corner comes up and drivers just peel their way across to that side of the circuit. Looking of that racing line. So difficult place to overtake. Let's get back to the front and let's see what's happening. So the gap come down a little bit. Dark Clark down to 4-second lead. Hirakram, are you taking shortcuts or was that just a little drop off the curb I saw? Looks like it was a little drop off the curb. So 4.2 seconds behind Dark Clark, who's leading. Dylan another 5.7 seconds behind him in third. 5.1 back for fourth place, Moose Like Jared. Marking Weeks fifth, 21.6 seconds down. JRC Racing another 7.2 back in sixth. 7.8 back for Don in seventh. P. Gibb not managed to get that position off him yet, still sitting in eighth, less than a second behind him. Toby into ninth. LFC fan still right behind him as well. Those positions not swapped yet. Fat Pickles in 11th. Janio 12th. Manny, ooh, drifting the Lamborghini. Off-roading it as well. Trying to get himself back on circuit. Does do now. He's got front end damage and dirty tyres, unfortunately. Clark then seems pretty unstoppable here at Nords. 4.6 seconds over Hirakram still. Dylan's made a mistake, so great big mistake. He now piles the pressure on himself. Jared right behind him for that third position now. About 4 seconds on Jared. Not anymore. 11 seconds behind second place Hirakram as well, so he's got to hold on to this top spot. 32 minutes in. We've only done 4 laps here at Nordschleife. Looks like Jared still just 0.4 of a second back. This has put him in a good position. If he can hang on to Dylan and get onto this long back straight, he might be able to make a move and get the overtake. Dylan will be trying to do everything he can to shake him. Stretches that gap up to 0.5 of a second. He needs a 10th per corner really just to stretch that out. Another 10th up to 0.6. Needs to get it over a second really before they hit that final corner. Citron not dropping him though, still 0.6 of a second. Same. So Moose Like Jared might be able to go for the overtake here then if he can hang on to Dylan. Just catch up with these two, make sure there's no great big mistakes. Starting to get dark here at the Nords then. Purple sectors all over the place for Dylan, but it's not helping him get away from Jared. A little bit of time through these twisty, tight left, right, gets that up to about 0.7, 0.8. Needs another couple of tenths around some of these twisty, tight corners. Citron being the bigger, heavier car. Maybe mistakes though from Dylan. Brings Moose Like Jared back into contention. Still fifth, under no threat from JRC Racing. He's under no threat from Don. He's under no threat from LFC fan, who has got himself past Toby now. I'll have to keep an eye on that battle as well as we come to the end of this race. Fat Pickles into 10th. P. Gibb right behind. No, he's not. He's backwards for 11th. Janio might be able to catch him up and get that one. P. Gibb gets himself back up to speed though. Dark Clark then hits this long back straight for the final time. 3.7 seconds lead over Hirakram. Dylan. Jeepers, off the circuit through there. Moose Like Jared not able to exploit that. They are now onto this fast back straight. Now then, can Moose Like Jared get the toe? 0.4 back. It's a long straight as well. closing up. Still, I think the McLaren does have a mile an hour or two over the... No, they're exactly the same miles an hour. Maybe it's just the width of that thing, not able to use full slipstream. It's still getting a bit of drag as it's sticking out so wide. But we'll jump on board with Dark Clark as he comes up to the line to take his second win of the evening. Comfortably again, 4.7 seconds over Hirakran by the time he crosses the line. Actually runs out of fuel. Dylan then comes up to the line, still under threat from Moose Like Jared. But it is going to be Dylan that takes third place. Almost out of fuel. Almost for Moose Like Jared as well. He takes fourth. Why can we put this back straight then? So we just caught him going off road previously. And just to keep it on the black stuff this time. He crosses the line to take fifth position then. Giving it a wobble up to the line. Are we going to see him backwards? Ooh, he tried. There was a big yank of handbrake, but it didn't work. JRC Racing's going to come home to take sixth position, then Don's going to come home for seventh. We might not see all these drivers cross the line. There is only a certain amount of time. The track will stay open for once the top few finish. LFC fan then takes 8th. Toby takes 9th. Fat Pickles takes 10th. With his high beams on. P-Gib takes 11th. And Janio. The lonely lights coming up the back edge. We've lost the driver. Who have we lost? We lost Manny. We've lost Manny, haven't we? Janio up to the line then to take that final position. We do get to see everyone cross the line then. There it is. And yeah, losing Manny through that one. Not sure what happened there. Yeah, you get to see his overalls again then. Dark Clark takes 2 wins tonight. That's going to really do his championship a world of good. It's a great big pile of points for him. We'll have to see what happens in terms of fastest laps and things like that. I wasn't really paying attention. But there you go, round 5 done and dusted. Great bit of racing there. Some great racing in the Ferraris, neck and neck. Until the fuel kicked in. Had some really good racing in the race 2 as well with all the different cars. Right, what have we got Friday night? I'm back Sunday night with the P1 boys and their multi-class league. So that's GR3s and GR4s in 2-man teams. That's Sunday night 9 o'clock. We've got a week's break on the Team Oliver Racing League, so no racing on Wednesday. But we are back the following Wednesday, back here actually at Nordschleife. So come and check that out. It's the Team Oliver Racing GT3 League. That's Wednesdays in 2 weeks' time. Other than that, like I say, Sundays 9 o'clock for P1's multi-class and Fridays for the next round of the GTTCC. That's what we've got coming up for you lot. So I hope you've liked what you've watched. If you have, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Most of all, tell your mates, tell your mums. My name's Dark Smoker. I'm out of here.